I want you to kill one more. Your target will be Kale, the man who's drafting that map. While I was trapped in here, he touched me, that maniac, like I was some rare specimen. He wore a strange helm. Bring it back as proof. Yes, I knew I could count on you. Perhaps this will slake my thirst.
Hello guys, my name is Michael, and what exactly is going on with this guy? I love the atmosphere here. I love the weird noise in the background, that sort of, I don't know, that sort of low hum. It reminds me of some creepy background noise in like a Silent Hill game. I think that's really, really done well. And what exactly is this guy? His name is Royal Sorcerer Navlan, and he is imprisoned in the mansion of the king's brother. And it's hard to know exactly what he is. I thought when I came in here first he may have been Aldia, and Aldia went insane and knew that he was going insane and had a split personality and deliberately sealed himself inside here. Fog wall of dark spirit. And why is there this weird fog wall in between it? I don't really understand that. This guy will only speak to you in this manner if you are hollow. If you come here alive, he's going to speak to you in a very different way, and he will sound sane and normal like a human, and be afraid and beg you to leave. But here, he's asking us to go kill people for him. He's also wearing an armor set called the Chaos set, which I believe we can get after we can complete his missions. It looks okay. I especially like the helm, which we will find out has two pieces of cloth over the eyes, indicating that he is one with the dark, or something like that. He's part of the dark in this world. Or, I mean, if he's not Aldia, was he a creation of Aldia, where Aldia was trying to turn himself into a dragon and made a mistake, like some of the other mistaken experiments we'll see up there? Or is he, it's so perplexing, and I think this is a good, genuine mystery that someone maybe like VodiVidya maybe make a video about this guy at some point to try to figure out what the hell is going on here. This guy definitely does seem crazy. However, he does have a really, really good spell, the best pyromancy in the game. Arguably one of the only useful pyromancies. And if we go around here onto the other side opposite this, these are developer messages that say pull back. And there are piles and piles of them all over the place. And what does this say here? Don't you dare. If you touch this, which of course I did when I first came here, because I mean, come on, you know, I mean, I'm not going to not pull it. I'm not going to go in front of the history eraser button and just not touch the darn thing, right? Well, when I went in there and touched it, well, yeah, some bad stuff came out of it. Because if you pull this lever, the fog wall that he's under will go away. And if it goes away like that, then he will start hunting you throughout the land of Drangleic. And he will be looking to try to find you all over the place and try to kill you. And he will invade you as a red invader in multiple areas, often really, really nasty ones, like right before you're about to get to a new bonfire, or seconds away from getting to a new area. He will attack you. And that can be pretty darn troublesome. So you probably do not want to touch that that thing there, because it's going to work out badly for you. It just is. So let's continue on with the rest of Aldia's keep. Aldia, we learn in this level and afterwards, was apparently trying to transmogrify himself into a dragon, which he believed will either lead to some sort of semi-godhood or break the curse of life and death and undeath, or something like that. And whether he succeeded or not is really kind of questionable. This guy we can unlock later with a Fragrant Branch of Yore, which I do have. The only reason to do this, though, is that he will drop a special helm that is part of some of the creatures here. Let's head over here into this room. And I believe... yeah, we haven't aggroed anybody. Let's head down here. We have another one of those red crystal lizards. Let's hope he just disappears. That's the... they really didn't use those guys too often. What would have been an interesting idea, I think, with the red crystal lizards, now that I think about it, is that they could have them randomly respawn in place of one of the blue ones that you missed. So you go and try to fight a blue one, but then when you come back, and you miss it, so you rest at the bonfire and you come back, and it's randomly turned into a red one and tries to hurt you when you run at it. I think that would have been a good idea. Great magic berries, a sorcery you can get here. You can also get some bonfire ascetics above. But let's go look at these mirrors, which you will recognize from the Mirror Knight boss fight. We'll take a look in there. That's what it looks like when a player character is being summoned through the Mirror Knight shield. So apparently Aldia knew something about the Mirror Knight, and he was involved in something going on there, I guess. I don't exactly know. Did he create the stuff for the Mirror Knight? I suppose he did. This guy is a science halberd, by the way, so obviously watch out, because that's pretty tough. These guys can actually be stomped pretty easily, because you can attack them, get a few hits off of them when they first come out. It's not exactly fair, mind, but, well, screw them. They're trying to invade you. Kill them. That guy is Pate's shield, by the way, but I don't think that's supposed to be Pate. There's another 2 of these invader guys here. You will have predictable results, I think. I don't think these guys are too challenging. There's Orma's great shield and a great sword. So, I mean, these guys are not totally undangerous. You know, you still gotta worry. But because you can get that initial like wake up hit when they come in, don't really think they're that much of a challenge. You could also you really should come down here because you can get some petrified dragon bone, which is very nice. There it is. And we get the Northern Ritual Band +2, which, if you'll remember, will allow you more casts on your... for each spell you have attuned. Although I believe I think we have to wait until New Game Plus to get the Southern Ritual Band +2, I think. Trying to remember where you get... maybe you get that from Scorpioness Najka? Well, I'm not sure about that. Let me take a look at that ritual band, because that weird ritual that they're talking about. Remember we found the original Northern Ritual Band by the malformed undead, which we're going to learn later Aldia created for some dark purpose. One of the secret treasures are stored in Aldia. Increases... that's a weird way of phrasing it. Restored in Aldia? Do you mean Aldia's keep? Is that just a misprint? Because it makes Aldia sound like a land and not a person. And there are some problems in the game where they confuse the name of a place with a person, and they're saying, well, we don't really know, so much time has passed and they're so different. And it actually says cruel fate of the residents of Aldia. So, I mean, what's going on here? Do they mean the mansion here? I guess they must. And it's just poorly written, but... well, anyway. Let's head up here. What Aldia is doing in here is conducting dark, horrid experiments for various evil purposes. And it's almost identical to what we find out Seek the Scaleless is doing in the... in his keep in Dark Souls 1. So they really just copied that story a bit. It's not exactly copied. They changed it a bit because what Aldia is doing is different from what Seat's doing, sort of, even though they're both trying to find immortality. He also seems to have created the giant basilisk. I think only if you attack this guy will he break out of the cage, which he can. He can just smash the cage, which has been criticized, you know, that these animals are in cages they can obviously break out of instantly. But, not a big deal to me. You also want to bring on a Pharos Lockstone down here, which I do have. And what do we have here? 2 bonfire sacks. Now this next room has kind of a neat, disguised loading screen. You can see, obviously, caged God knows how many creatures here over the, the years or decades of his madness. Or how long did he last? Maybe he transformed himself into some sort of creature that lasted for centuries. And let's see what this says. Tri-front. Yeah, if you go up to here and pull this... Now, what I think really should happen to you here, in keeping with the Souls games, is that you should touch that cord, and the dragon's mouth should come alive and rip off your arm and, do serious damage. But it doesn't. It just opens up this door here. It's not a big deal. And this is pretty much all of Aldia's keep here, this one long corridor. Like I said, they should have spent a lot longer on this and made a huge mansion with multiple levels, locked doors, places you can get lost in. Make it like the first section of Tower of Latria. But unfortunately, they did not. Just take a look up there when we put this Pharos Lockstone in there. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool, I think, lighting that place up there like that. These portraits here contain, if you can kind of see them, sort of, maybe, some of the enemies in this game. They're part of some sort of weird ritualistic dragon cult, or something like that was involved in the experiments to do something, to transform themselves into dragons or something like that. They are weirdly attired and look kind of neat. And if you attack the painting, they'll come out. Not from all the paintings. It's kind of a hit or miss. But they come out of some of them. They also have weird bone-like shields and bizarre hammers. They actually do a fair amount of damage for being little guys with, wizardly-like clothing on. They also drop petrified dragon bone, which is why I put on the gold serpent ring. I got their robe, though. It looks sort of weird. I'm not crazy about how their robe looks. It sort of looks a little too makeshift, But it does look good that you see the scissors. Hold on. Like the scissors it has there, and the weird pouches and chains there. I kind of like that, because it does give them the impression that they are weird, pseudo-criminal bad guys. I like that quite a bit. This guy, this ogre here, is not going to pop out unless you attack the cage. If you shoot an arrow at him, he will break out of this and attack you, but there's not really any reason to, so we're not going to do that. Although it could be especially obnoxious if you invaded in this area and tried to do that. That would be pretty nasty. I think there's a guy behind this, I think. Probably. Now, we're not going to go down there yet. We're going to head through this door, because we're going to get a key down here that will unlock a door on the other side that we should go through. I think you can get a replacement Pharos Lockstone in here, by the way. Yes, you can. And I love this room with all of these potions and things sticking around here. It's really, really cool. That was odd. I sort of skipped or jumped there somehow. Whoa. Something is wrong. I don't know what's going on, but the game was kind of screwing up there for a second. It's like it was glitching out. I think there's something else in this room I'm trying to find. I don't remember where it is. Maybe I'm just making that up. Maybe there's nothing else in here. If you go here to this wall, there is a hidden door and a secret bonfire. Not that there really needed to be one. I guess it's a little convenient, but not that useful. And I'm going to bring up my bow, because we have a room, you'll take a look in there, is filled with the equipment degradation poison stuff. So unless you want all of your armor and weapons to break, do not go in there. We're going to be stripping nude before we head in there. Oh, you can hit him through the door. But I'm going to go in anyway. I don't think this guy's especially dangerous. These are the dog guys, remember, from the gutter, which apparently Aldia also created. And did he create that weird ant thing in the gutter too? I don't know. It seems to imply when you go through here that Aldia created a lot of the bizarre monstrosities in that you encounter in Drangleic. Oh, they drop aromatic ooze. That's not that useful, but whatever. Come on. There you go. Come on out here. There are also spikes, by the way, on the door pointing the other way. So if you head in there... Oh, I think... Oh, he can get hurt by the spikes! Oh my god, yes! That's so cool! Oh, did I hit him through the bars? I thought you couldn't... It's a pet peeve of mine when you can't hit an enemy through an obvious, chain fence or bars or gate or something. Because it's just so poorly done that, Alright, well anyway. Let us strip completely nude. And head in there. Why this stuff can corrode metal and cloth but not skin? Yeah, that doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, does it? And we get the Aldia key that will allow us to go through another area. And I believe this is a spell. Petrified Dragon Bone and a spell called Soul Geyser. I'm not that familiar with that spell. I also like this this bone thing sitting here. Whatever, it looks like some sort of weird elk or some other kind of hooved mammal. And if you look above, you will see an experiment chamber we're going to be going into later. And it looks quite grim because there's some sort of horrible arm sticking out there. And they must have just experimented on them there and dumped them down here to dissolve, I guess. Which is really, really grisly and disgusting. The Japanese Buddhist cult, Om Shinrikyo, used to murder people and then take them down to the basement where a gigantic microwave they'd set up down there would boil them or sort of reduce them to paste, and then they would bury them and throw them into a lake. Get all my stuff back on, because even though I am naked and it's super fun being naked, I want to take this off. I don't want to be naked for the boss fight we're going to have in just a little bit. I'm afraid I have to put away my ring duplicates. They're all sitting around here, just not really helping anybody out. And where are you? There you are. Bow, which I'm going to need, because we're going to have to fight 2 of those ogre guys in a minute, unfortunately. Not something I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I think I'm going to forego the helmet. Because a lot of leggings didn't look good with the purple on this. I was kind of annoyed at that. Oh, wait a minute. I think I will put on my covetous gold serpent ring now. Just in case I get a good drop. Because we're going to have to kill more of those obnoxious little twerps. Who can actually give you a fair amount of damage, by the way, if you go up against them. And let us see here. Oh, didn't get the backstab, but that's okay. Oh, I forgot to mention from the last episode, I was really, really stupid with Lucatiel, because I had forgotten. I was still thinking of the game from when it first came out, but I had forgotten that in the Ivory Crown DLC, they give you another opportunity to summon her for the final boss fight in that area, and I think it would have counted towards me getting her stuff without having to murder her. So, then we got their weapon. This thing really isn't a hammer exactly, it's some sort of weird ritual device, and it looks kind of bizarre. Yeah, it almost looks like it's carved out of the bones of a dragon or the bones of something. There were really grisly, unpleasant experiments going on here. And we also see, hey, wait a minute. This is the butcher's knife and that tool that those patchwork undead have. So there's even more evidence that, and that looks like a bandit's knife there, that Aldia was involved in almost every aspect of this land somehow. That's pretty peculiar. He was doing and making pretty much everything around here. Unless it's a coincidence, but I don't see how it could be. And this is another one of those guys from the Shrine of Amana, so he was also involved there doing some unfortunate stuff. Perhaps he knew that his brother was not a true monarch, whatever that means, or if he was a true monarch, that ultimately, as we're going to learn later, that maybe there is no difference at all between choosing light or dark, which is something that we learned at the end of DS1. I usually cheese this guy at range from in here, because again, he has that grapple attack. So, I mean, my lord, it's so annoying. And there are, it's been brought to my attention that the enemies in Dark Souls 1 did have some grapple attacks too. Like the guys in Blight Town could grab onto you. And I knew they existed, it just didn't seem, it seemed a lot more fair here. Where this guy, I mean, he's just such a fatty. And he has so much health. Because being fat means it's harder to kill you in the real world. I mean, that makes sense, right? I know I'm not harder to kill because of my weight. I know that. So maybe that doesn't make sense in the real world. So, there we go. Now we're going to have to come back here and respawn him in order to get him to do something. But, let's just head in here and then we're going to go take out the boss. There's one of these guys in here. There's not really any point to coming into this room. Except... Ooh, we got their shield. I think this is kind of a neat shield to have for a wizard type build. It's kind of useless at 50% resistance, and I don't even think it can spell parry, but it definitely makes a statement. And this, I mean, my god, this is so cool looking. Look at the giants! This is so grisly that they were put into here and were perhaps vivisected, not even dissected, but cut open while they were alive and ripped apart, and there's this huge hunk of flesh here next to a giant butcher's knife, and God knows what they were doing with these giants. Does experimenting with the giants' bodies somehow lead you to becoming immortal, I guess? I mean, I don't know. I don't see how it could. I believe, by the way, if you break these guys out of their cages, they will remain broken out of their cage. So that's not exactly a good thing. And should we go do the boss now? Maybe we should go do the boss. I have some repair powder. I don't think I need to go rest. Well, I shouldn't have to frickin' go rest. I've been using this for like a couple minutes and it's already broken half to death. Alright. Go to this door here. And there's another ogre behind another set of doors just in front of here. Just run up to the door and then immediately run away. Immediately run away. Yep, fatty's coming out. And we actually need this fatty to come down here if we want to break open this cage here with this malformed or something undead in it. I forget what they're called. Enhanced undead? Can he break it on his own? Maybe he can. I'm thinking no, though. I think Fatty's going to have to help us out. Yeah, we needed him to help us out. Now we got both of these guys coming after us, so that's not so fun. But we have a way to sneak around them. And we actually need that Fatty to open up a door for us. That's why I'm bringing him over here. Hopefully we can get the... Oh! Forgot about you. Totally forgot that those guys are actually in the... Watch it. There are some carriages at the beginning of the level with basilisks in them, and you can actually get the dragon that you first encounter to break them open. But obviously, as you do not want these basilisks out there, I didn't think it was overly important to mention this. Hoping that guy will drop a malformed club. Or not malformed club. Malformed skull. Okay, let's try to get him to break this. You need to get him to punch this door, just like that door in Harvest Valley. And it's obviously very hard to get him to do it, because, well, he's just so big and strong. And you don't want to be oh my goodness, shit, we're gonna have to come back. Fuck it! Although I think the door will remain open. I think. I'm not certain about that, but I think... Yeah, I'm going to gamble and say the door is going to remain open. If you don't want to do this, by the way, don't bother, because there's kind of a bizarre-looking weapon in here. But I thought I might as well show it anyway. There's not really any purpose to this weapon, as I said. It's just sort of odd. And if you want to farm petrified dragon bone, this is the place to do it, because you can get them those little... Uh-oh. 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 Let's see what happens. Oh no, it's good. Sweet. I'm glad you only have to do that once. I got worried when I saw the cage still open there. Let's see here. This is also a good place to come and farm that malformed skull. Unlike the malformed skull, the malformed shell is not a good weapon. I mean, just look at it. What is it? They say it's a shell, but this doesn't look like a shell to me. It looks like a giant set of teeth or something. I don't think this has particularly good stats either, like a D with strength. Maybe you can get that up by upgrading it, but, I mean, why would you choose this over the... It's so bizarre looking. It's kind of icky, I don't even want to touch it. Why would you ever choose that over the Great Club, you know? I mean, what's the point? Oop. That little thing can actually do a fair amount of damage with that little club of his, so... Ooh! I forgot that they throw, not hexing urns, but the magic damage grenade-like item. I forgot that. I forget what they're called. So that adds a little bit of fun to your fighting with them. I really like enemies that have multiple different types of attack. I think that's a really, really good idea for a game, to have a variety of attack types in it. Let's open this up. And yeah, I'm sorry guys, but I'm gonna cheese this guy with range again. I mean, I hate fighting these guys. You saw that. I believe with this next guy, by the way, the one that killed me, I could actually just run past him to the boss area, and he's too slow to get back to me. But I want to take some time to look just outside the boss area, because it's an uncommonly beautiful part of the game that I think looks great. And, you know, the game's been shit on enough by others, but kind of by me at times, that, you know, it deserves something nice. Oh, they drop old Radiant Life Gems, okay. Always make sure to clear the play area. Come on, fatty. Those poison arrows can be a real godsend in, Oh god, the other basilisk was trying to get in. We're actually very close, by the way, to be able to fulfill Aldia's, or Royal Sorcerer Naplan, whoever the hell that guy is, all of his quest requirements. You just have to wait. They may have been able to do that better if they had waited for, or rather if they had shown us this guy very early and made you able to get all of the cool stuff that it gives you very early on, but only if you committed those murders. Because I think all of the murders he's asking for you can get with characters that you encounter very quickly in the game. So if they'd done that, like you run into him within the first couple of hours of the game, and you had to make a choice whether, well, should I wait to the end of the game to get it, or should I do it now? The murders would have more of a point, but here you don't need to kill anybody, so why would you? Now this area really knocked my socks off, and I thought was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I just wanted to drink that in for a minute. I've heard people criticize these spires here as if they don't make sense, but come on, it's a fantasy world. At least, you know, give them something. And I just love this, that the sun is out here. Did you say praise the sun? No. I will write one then. And I just love how the area looks. I think it absolutely looks beautiful. I love the sun coming out here. I think this is the first bright sunny day that we've seen in pretty much the whole game here. It's absolutely gorgeous looking. It is amazing. The sun in the background there, and the next area is beautiful too. I also wanted to mention something about the messages. They did this perfectly in this game. In Dark Souls 1, and I think in Demon Souls, you needed to purchase an item in order to write messages. And it was not an expensive or hard to get item, but a lot of times I just ignored the area where the merchant was, especially later on. I just forgot about it. The fact that you can just write them now anywhere is great. It does maybe cheapen it a little bit, but something that they did right about the messages in Demon Souls was that you could actually rate a message up or down. Here, you can just go over here and choose to rate it, and rate it positively, but in the other one, you could rate it down if it was a false message. So I think that was also really useful. And they did something better in Demon Souls also, which is that after you co-opt with someone, you could rate them. And so you could see if you're going to summon somebody in, oh, this guy has a terrible rating, nobody liked him, he must be useless. Then you wouldn't, then you know, don't bring this guy in, he's shit, he's not going to help you. But anyway, already 5 points of durability gone. Oh, and there's somebody here, that's nice. Iron Mat. Well, I am going to go in without that. This next boss is a dragon. I love the cage that he's in. He has a fairly generic design to him, but this is almost like a giant bird cage, and that looks kind of neat, because the dragon is inside here. He is actually a pathetically easy boss. Famous last words in Dark Souls, I know. Now, I'd probably go in there and die instantly, but he is really, really simple. When his fire comes out, just run to the corners. And you can get some wake-up hits on him. Or her. I think these dragons are female. You do find them guarding eggs later, so, it screams female. Also, we can run under their legs and not be hit by giant dragon junk, so, just makes me think female, Look how much damage you can get, and these guys are really, really weak to lightning. So if you come in here with some lightning spears, some lightning weapons, hoo boy, you are going to really, really hammer these guys. Because you can kill them, especially early on. We had like 8 great lightning spears or something like that. You could just demolish these guys in a second. And you can hit them at range, too. Come on. Oh! Forgot you could do that. Ma'am? Now, if you could still be hit by that fire in the corners, this boss would be a lot more dangerous. But they must have realized when they designed it that if they did that, then it would be almost impossible to avoid getting hit. Because the fire would just spread out. It would just, fan out across the area. So, it's another example of the closer you are to danger, the farther you are from harm. Just get nice and close up there. In what may be the quickest turnaround in Souls game history, these guys are actually enemies in the next area, which seems a little queer to me that they would instantly become, they would immediately become enemies right in the next area. I think they'd wait a little bit, but I guess they didn't have time. Whoop. I love that you can cling to the walls of this place. I think that looks pretty cool. Keep maybe trying to hit it at range, but there's not really. Yes! Overhead chop. Awesome. Guardian Dragon Soul. Also, this is, just look at this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. It's amazing. Look at the mist, the fog over there. All these strange spires in the sky. It looks absolutely beautiful. Now let us go around here. We get a dragon scale right here. That's what you need to trade into the Dragon Covenant. And I am going to end this just as soon as I get on top of here. I wish that you could see out of this cage a little more, because it's absolutely gorgeous out there. And, they're finally doing a lot of things right, but they started doing it late in the day, and that's not going to win you much in the way of favors. But I'm going to call it an episode in a little bit. In the next area, we are going to be exploring the good old-fashioned Dragon Eyrie, where a bunch of dragons live. Or are they drakes? It's hard to say exactly. I think we just thought it was a drake, maybe, or they say guardian dragon, I guess, but it doesn't really seem to live up to the name to me. But until then, praise the sun.